קודש, ערב שבת קודש, פרשת חוקת and פרשת בלק, תשפ"ג. ספר במדבר was sponsored by Moshe and Maurice Belly. הקדוש ברוך הוא will bless him, Moshe and his wife Mercy and all his children. with ברכה והצלחה and everything, and they should have a lot of nachat from all their children. Week's parasha was sponsored by לעילוי נשמת איריס בת אביגיל עליה שלום. אשת חיל נמצא רחוק מפנינים ממכרת נולד פי ידיה והעלוה בשערים מעשיה. האישה הנכבדת מרת איריס בת אביגיל, רוח אדוני תניחנה בגן עדן, אמן. Today we will try to speak about the two parashot, Parashat Chukat and also Parashat Balak. We will start with Parashat Chukat. After Miriam passed away, the nation didn't have water to drink because there was a well that used to go with Am Israel all the way in the desert, and the well was going with them. Bizchut of Miriam, that she stood for a short time to watch Moshe near the Nile, near the water. Because of this, she had the merit that because of her, Am Israel had water in the desert. So Am Israel gathered all of them, and they came to Moshe, and they said, we want water. Moshe, according to the Mefarshim and Aharon, both of them ran away, and they ran to Ohel Moed because they were afraid that the nation is going to do something to them. And then Borei Olam says to Moshe, Kach et hamate, take the staff and gather the people, you and Aharon, and speak to the rock, and he will give water. Moshe did it. He took the staff, and the pasuk says, "V'kach et hamate milifnei Hashem," from in front of Hashem, as Borei Olam told him, and he hit the rock twice with the staff, and a lot of water came out. After this, Borei Olam says to Moshe and Aaron that this was a sin, since Ya'an lo ha'emantem bi lahakdisheni le'inei bnei Yisrael, he didn't sanctify myself in front of the nation, therefore you will not enter Eretz Israel. A lot of the Mefarshim, they had a big problem with this parasha. They didn't understand what was the sin of Moshe and Aharon. What did they sin? A lot of answers were said here. Barbanel or Chaim HaKadosh, they brought 10 reasons why it was a sin. And a lot of Mefarshim, every explanation they deny. We don't have time to start with all of them. I will pick today two. First of all, we bring the explanation of Rashi. Rashi says that, I want to read in front of the Rashi. Rashi says, Borei Olam said to Moshe to speak to the rock. And Moshe didn't speak, he hit the rock. Says Rashi, for had you spoken to the rock, and it would have brought forth water, I would have been sanctified before the eyes of the assembly. And they would have said, now, if this rock, which neither speaks nor hears, and doesn't need any sustain from Borei Olam, fulfills the word of Borei Olam, so Kal Vachomer, how much more, so should we fulfill his words. So this was, according to Rashi, the sin that Moshe and Aharon caused, that Borei Olam was not sanctified in front of the nation. But we have to understand here two things. Number one, why really Moshe didn't fulfill exactly what Borei Olam told him? Another question is, Borei Olam is angry at them that they didn't speak to the rock. But Borei Olam caused Moshe to be confused, because he told him, first of all, take your staff, and then he told him, speak to the staff. So Moshe was confused here, especially that Moshe remembered that already after Yetziat Mitzrayim, after Kriyat Yamsuf, when Am Yisrael came in Sefer Shmot to the place of Refidim, the Pasuk says there that Am Yisrael were thirsty. And Borei Olam told Moshe, take your staff that you used in Egypt and hit the rock. So this is what he did here. So if so, we have here two things that we have to understand, to clarify. First of all, why Moshe didn't do it. Number two is Moshe Rabbeinu was confused here. And if Borei Olam didn't mean that he will use the staff, so why did he tell him, take the staff? This is our two questions. Before we will answer these two questions, we have to understand, first of all, which staff we are talking here about. In Refidim, in the first time, in Sefer Shmot, Borei Olam says to Moshe, take, kach et matcha, take your staff. Here, the Pasuk, the Torah didn't say take your staff. The Pasuk says take this staff, kach et hamate. And the Pasuk says, vayikach et hamate milifnei Hashem. He took it in front of Borei Olam. In front of Borei Olam means that the staff was in the Mishkan. So this is the place that Moshe used to hold and to keep his staff, not in his house. It was not with him all the time. Therefore, Chizkuni, and after him also other Mefarshim, Kliyakar also, they explain that here Borei Olam didn't tell Moshe to take his own staff. And now here we are talking about this staff that was mentioned 2 weeks ago, in Parashat, a week ago, in Parashat Korach, the staff of Aharon. What was with the staff of Aharon? That there was a fight, there was a quarrel between the Korach and all his group, against Aharon, he should be the Kohen Gadol. Maybe other people, they deserve to be Kohen Gadol. And Borei Olam said to Moshe, everyone should bring a staff, a piece of wood, should bring it into the Mikdash. And the one that will blossom, this will be a proof that he has to be the Kohen Gadol. And the staff of Aharon blossomed. And therefore, since it was blossomed, all the other staffs that the other tribes brought, everyone took home. And we explained last time why. But the staff of Aaron said Borei Olam to Moshe, you should bring it into Ohel Moed. It should be in the Mishkan, and it would be kept there as a commemoration, as a proof that Am Israel who made a fight with Moshe and Aaron about Kehuna Gedola, and Aaron, he is the Kohen Gadol. So now, this is the staff that Borei Olam told Moshe to take with him to the rock. What is the idea behind here? Explains the clear car. Borei Olam had here an idea why to take the staff, not to hit with the staff the rock, and that the staff will stand there and will remove the doubt of Am Israel if there is a possibility that water will come out from the rock. And this what Borei Olam meant. And he said, look on this staff. This staff was brought to the Mishkan as a piece of wood, a dry piece wood. And with the words of Borei Olam, this dry wood became alive, means to say water came into it, it became a lot of moist, went into this piece of wood, and it started to blossom, and almonds came out. So the same thing, that this can happen, so a rock, we can take out water from a rock. This was the idea why Borei Olam said to Moshe to take the staff to bring it near the rock. But Moshe and Aaron, they didn't speak, and they reduced Kiddush Hashem that should have been there, and therefore they got punished. That they didn't cause other people to see the Kedusha of Borei Olam. And of course, what was the meaning that they should speak to the rock? Borei Olam had here also another intention. And this will give us to understand also why Borei Olam didn't tell Moshe to speak in the first time to speak to the rock. And now, why here he says, speak to the rock. The answer to this is the following. Speaking to the rock, explain the Yalkut Shimoni, the Midrash, meant to say Divrei Torah in front of the rock. The power of Torah, to show Am Israel the power of Torah, that Torah rules the nature. And Refidim, after Yetziat Mitzrayim, they didn't accept the Torah yet. Therefore, Borei Olam said to Moshe, use the staff. But here, in Parashat Chukat, we are talking after Yetziat, after Matan Torah, after we accepted the Torah. And this is what Borei Olam wanted to show the nation, that the power of Torah. But Moshe didn't do it exactly as Borei Olam said to him, and therefore Moshe got punished. But really, why Moshe didn't listen? Moshe was not a stupid person. Moshe here, he was a real shepherd of Am Israel. And there is a difference between a shepherd of a nation and a shepherd of sheep. A shepherd of sheep, when he is going with them, the main thing is himself. He wants to have a lot of the sheep will be fed, the sheep will be able to take to cut the wool. He meant himself. This is a regular shepherd that goes with the sheep. But the shepherd that but the shepherd of a nation, he is doing everything not for the sake of himself as a regular shepherd, and he's doing everything for the sake of the nation. And this was Moshe. And here Moshe showed his leadership. Moshe said to himself, what Borei Olam told me to speak to the right. And Am Israel will make the Kal Vachomer that was brought in Rashi that I mentioned before. And he said to them, if the rock that he doesn't hear, and doesn't talk, and doesn't need any sustain, he listened to Borei Olam. So Kal Vachomer, for sure, Am Israel has to listen to Borei Olam. Moshe Rabbeinu knew with whom he deals. He knew his nation, and he knew that they will not make this Kal Vachomer. Said Moshe to himself, if Am Israel will not do this Kal Vachomer, means that immediately the prosecutor, he will open his mouth, and he will say to Borei Olam, see, Moshe spoke to the rock, and the rock was listening, and he gave water. And Am Israel, Moshe Rabbeinu is talking to them so many times, and they don't listen to you, Borei Olam. From this, Moshe Rabbeinu was afraid. Because of this, Moshe Rabbeinu decided, I am not going to speak to the rock, because this will cause harm to Am Israel. Therefore, what Moshe Rabbeinu did, he didn't speak, even though he knew that he's not listening to Borei Olam, and Borei Olam would not like it, and he will be punished. This was the reason why Moshe Rabbeinu didn't fulfill exactly what Borei Olam told him. We will stop here about Parashat Chukat, and we will go a little bit also to next Parashat Balak. When we are reading in Parashat Balak, we see that a big miracle happened in this parasha. The mule, the donkey, opened her mouth and she spoke with him. And I counted how many words she spoke. If you will check, you will see twice she spoke with him. We have over there 23 words, but we don't have time now to speak about this. Another time we will try to speak about this. But we have to pay attention here. The power for the donkey to speak, says the Mishnah in Masechet Avot, was created Erev Shabbat, Friday evening, Bein Hashmashot, a little bit before sunset. What does it mean? A donkey to speak. Was the donkey created Erev Shabbat Ben Hashmashot, or the power to speak? Says Tosfot Yom Tov in the Mishnah there, and Bartenura also, that only not the donkey was created, because this way we will have to say that the donkey lived so many years from creation till Bilam, at least 30, 35, 40 generations. Therefore, he says that only the power to speak was created at that time. Likely, we can say that Zifur Olam planted the gene that will open and work when the donkey will have to speak with the story of Bilam. This is the explanation of Tosfot Yom Tov and the Mefarshim of the Mishnah there. But the Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer, another Midrash, says no, that the donkey himself, he was created at that time, and he lived so many years till Bilam. Even though you have to believe that everything was true. The Khatam Sofer is very strict, and he says all the miracles that happened during Am Israel, during it staying in Egypt and in the desert, was in public. Everyone knew about it. And since we believe that parents don't cheat children, so everything is as if we saw it in our eyes also. If they saw, we saw, because parents don't cheat children. But the story with Bilam and the donkey, that the donkey spoke, the whole story here, and he wanted to curse, and Balak took him to curse. All this thing was a private thing between Bilam and the donkey. Who knew about it? Nobody. Even Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know about it. Did Moshe know that the donkey spoke? No, he didn't know. Everything was revealed by Borei Olam. So says the Khatam Sofer, everyone has to believe in it as if he believes in the whole Torah. On the other hand, we don't understand what so great was this thing that the donkey spoke. That the donkey spoke. Why I'm saying it? Because we find in Sefer Shmuel, in Perek Vav, Plishtim had a fight with Am Israel, and Am Israel lost the battle, and the ark, was captured by Plishtim. The Plishtim took the ark, and wherever they brought it, it suffered. People started to die because Aron Kodesh is there. And this is not the place of Aron Kodesh. And since they started to be frightening from the Aron Kodesh, so after a certain time, they decided to bring back the Aron to Am Israel. They went to their chiefs, Kohanim, the Havdil, all the priests. They went to their priests and they told them the way to send it back, to make a new wagon, to put the ark on the wagon, to tie to the wagon 2 cows, and send them on the way to Eretz Israel, to the Jews. The Pasuk says there, this is what they did, and the Pasuk says, let me read in front of you the Pasuk, וישרנה הפרות בדרך, על דרך בית שמש במסילה אחת. וישרנה. Yasharna has several meanings. Yasharna, you have the word Yashar. So the majority of the Mefarshim are saying that the cows went straight, even though a cow usually goes to the side to take, not on the main street. It goes to eat some grass here, to take some grass on the other side, but they went straight. But the Gemara says a different explanation. The Gemara saw in the word Vayasharna the word Shira, singing. And says the Gemara in the Masechet Avodah Zarah, Daf Kaf Dalet Amud Bet. Says the Gemara there that the cows started to sing, and the Gemara brings a lot of opinions. What song the cows sang. I give you two of them. One says that they said Az Yashir Moshe Bnei Israel, Shirat Hayam. Another opinion says that they said this whole Perek in Tehillim, Perek Kuf in Tehillim, they said. So we see here two cows are speaking. And here only one donkey spoke around 23 words. The two cows, they spoke more, longer. And the Ritva in Masechet Avodah Zarah, he is asking another question. And he says, why the story about the two cows is not mentioned in the Masechet Avot? The power to speak with the donkey was created then, the 10 things, among the 10 things, and also you should mention also that the two cows that spoke also was created at that time, that they sang. Says the Ritva that we don't have to mention the story with the two cows in Sefer Shmuel Perek Vav. Why? He says that the power of the donkey was like a father, binyan av, for all places that animals will speak. So it's enough to mention only the donkey of Bil'am, and from here it developed to all the animals that spoke. I have another question about the snake, but let's leave it at this moment. This is the explanation of the Ritva. But it bothered me, still there was bothered with this, and then nevertheless, means the cows is a little bit higher ness than Bil'am. So I found in the Chida. Chida has a Perush on Masechet Avot. Says the Chida there that the story of the two cows that they were singing cannot be mentioned in the Mishnah. Why? Last week we mentioned that when Shlomo Melech brought Aron Kodesh to Beit HaMikdash, all pieces of wood that were in the Mikdash started to blossom, to give fruits. And from here, the Kohanim, and they got the Parnasa. They took the fruits that was growing in the Mikdash. This gave them Parnasa. This is the power of Aron Kodesh, of Shechina. So says the Chida, you know why the cows were singing? They started to speak, and the Ritva says that they spoke Hebrew. The donkey of Bil'am, she spoke in the language that Bil'am understood. Maybe Arabic, or I don't know, Aramaic, which language that they spoke, according to some of them, according to, I think, Rabbi Eibeshitz. But here, says the Ritva, they spoke Hebrew, the two cows. From where they got the power? Because they had on their back, it was close to them, the Ark, Aron HaKodesh. By Shlomo, they gave fruits. Here, they gave a power to speak. While the donkey that spoke by Bil'am, this is a greatness. That the donkey is standing not in front of Aron Kodesh. He's speaking about in front of the person who is a man which is the lowest level in Tum'ah, in impurity. And nevertheless, he spoke. This is a bigness, a greatness. So therefore, the cows has nothing to do with the Mishnah, because here, by the cows in the Mishnah, in the cows, there was a special reason why they spoke, because they were the Aron Kodesh. And the greater is the ness that gave the power to the donkey to speak. And all these things that the donkey spoke was for the sake of Am Israel, to show Bil'am, you think that with your mouth you can do a lot, you can curse Am Israel. Let me show you that the power of talking is not only to you. A donkey also can talk and can speak. I would like to end with something interesting that I saw in a book which is called Kerem Tzvi. It was written by Rabbi Hirsch-Farber. He was a rabbi in London around 120 years ago, and he said something as a joke. Sometimes it's good to finish with a joke. And he asked, why Borei Olam created the donkey that speaks, according to Pirkei Rav Lezer, not only the power to speak, but the donkey that spoke, he was created Erev Shabbat, a minute before Shabbat. Why didn't create him in the middle of the day, a Friday afternoon? So he says, that Borei Olam was afraid to do it Friday afternoon. Because if he would have done it Friday afternoon, he would have created the donkey that started to speak. All the donkeys in the world would have come to Borei Olam, and they would have said to him, we want also, give us also the power to speak. And they would have made a lot of pressure on Borei Olam, and could be Borei Olam wouldn't be able to stand in the stand and to say no, and he would have given it to them. Therefore, Borei Olam decided that I would do it Erev Shabbat, a minute before Shabbat, and after all the donkeys will hear it, that this donkey got the power to speak, they will come to Borei Olam. Borei Olam will be able to tell them, I'm sorry, it's already Shabbat, it's too late. I want to wish everyone a Shabbat Shalom, and in Hashem, we will meet next week.